Which is better, the Tesla Model Y, starting at $45,000, or the brand new Tesla Model Y? As of now, this version is only available in Asia, but over there it starts at pretty much the same price as the previous vehicle. In fact, when Tesla updated the Model 3, it started at the exact same price as the previous Model 3 in the US. So it will very likely be the same scenario here. Well, in this episode, we are going to find out if this new vehicle is better. In my opinion, the current Model Y is a great looking vehicle. On the front, I love the shape of the headlights, there's no grille, and the bonnet slopes downwards since there's no engine, and that looks terrific. On the side, there are a few creases. The body panels are pretty smooth. The flush door handles look elegant, so do these wheels, and I like the sloping roofline. On the back, it looks pretty decent. The taillights look cool, and I love how the charge port is neatly integrated into the taillights. That looks awesome. And the rear bumper design, while it has an aggressive look with that rear diffuser, it still looks pretty clean. And this vehicle is fairly light. The lightest version of the current Model Y weighs over 4,100 pounds. That's pretty good, considering its size. And it has a drag coefficient of 0.23 CD. That is excellent. Overall, it looks perfect. The new Model Y, however, looks fantastic, especially on the front. That light bar is gorgeous. Beneath them are the actual headlights. There are no fog lights, but they're not very useful. To me, the front of this car looks very futuristic. On the side, it looks largely the same as the previous Model Y, but there are some differences. It gets new wheels. These look fabulous. There are also updates to the side mirrors. The rest of the side is the same, but just like the front, there are huge changes on the back. This looks so cool. I love what they have done with the taillights. This red light here is actually a glowing effect of the light bar. This is what it looks like when it's off. Instead of the Tesla T, the word Tesla is written. This looks amazing. The license plate will now be attached on the rear diffuser. Speaking of rear diffuser, this rear diffuser is huge, but there are two reasons as to why it is very big. One, all of the exterior design upgrades are for improved aerodynamics, increasing efficiency, providing more range. In fact, this vehicle has a drag coefficient of 0.22 CD, even lower than the drag coefficient of the previous Model Y. The second reason why this rear diffuser is so big is to reduce the chances of the tailgate getting damaged in a minor rear end accident. Oftentimes, the tailgate of the previous Model Y would get damaged even at super low speed fender benders. It's very expensive to replace this tailgate, so now this will reduce the chances of the tailgate getting damaged. And in my opinion, it looks great. It gives the rear of this car a more aggressive look. It's ever so slightly heavier than the previous Model Y. The lightest version of the new Model Y weighs slightly above 4,200 pounds. Overall, in my opinion, this new vehicle looks way better than its predecessor. The current Model Y's interior is very minimal. There are hardly any buttons. Pretty much all controls are done through this beautiful display. It looks nice. It's very clean, uncluttered, and futuristic. It gets a huge glass roof as standard, letting in loads of light into the cabin. The current Model Y's interior quality has improved a lot over the years. If you get a Model Y today, everything will feel solid inside, and most materials are soft touch. For the comfort features, it gets heated seats, the heated steering wheel, and 2 wireless chargers in the front, all as standard. Overall, it's a fantastic place. The new Model Y gets a fully redesigned interior. The design is completely new. For the most part, it looks pretty similar to the interior of the latest Model 3, but there are quite a lot of differences. Just like that car, it gets ambient lighting, and at night, it looks amazing. But on the door panels, the light strip only extends halfway through. Below that is a separate piece of fabric aligned with the speaker. Also on the dashboard there is stitching. Right underneath the vent, there's a nice shiny trim around the wireless chargers, and the gear stalk is removed. Now all shifting is done through this touchscreen, but Tesla will implement their auto shift feature into this new vehicle. More on that later on in this episode. Surprisingly, they left the turn signal stock, instead of adding buttons to the steering wheel for the indicators. Maybe they'll remove it in different areas of the world, but the rest of the steering wheel design looks very similar to the one in the latest Model 3, and I love how this new steering wheel looks. and the overall interior. I love how this new interior looks. They have updated the interior quality a lot in this vehicle as well. The materials inside feel more expensive and robust to make this cabin feel even more expensive than the interior of the previous Model Y, and these materials are also for better sound insulation. This new Model Y also gets power reclining rear seats, meaning these seats will recline electrically instead of having to recline them manually in the previous Model Y. And by a press of a button in the trunk, they will automatically fold down and fold up as well. Just like the previous Model Y, gets the heated steering wheel, 2 wireless chargers in the front, heated seats, but unlike the previous Model Y, all of these seats are perforated, and the front seats are now ventilated, which is a very useful feature during the summer. Overall, this is a fabulous interior. The previous interior was lovely, but this new one is definitely more luxurious. Both vehicles get a massive display in the front. The screen in the new Model Y is slightly bigger thanks to the thinner bezels. Both vehicles have over-the-air updates, so as you own them, they get better over time. They don't have Apple CarPlay nor Android Auto, but in these vehicles, you don't really need them. The infotainment system in Teslas is really good. It already has built-in Google Maps, web browser, and you can also sync your contacts with the vehicle, so you can make phone calls and send messages through this display. If you pay for the premium connectivity subscription, you will also get access to a bunch of different music apps. It's a really good infotainment system. Now on the display on both of these vehicles, there are a bunch of different games to play and a lot of videos to watch. Very useful while charging the car at a supercharger. Of course, these features only work while the vehicle is in park. Both of them feature bioweapon defense mode. This mode will utilize the built-in HEPA filter of these cars to prevent almost 100% of harmful gases entering the cabin. The amount of tech in these vehicles is insane, but there's still a lot more. There's Pin to Drive. When enabling this, you will have to create a passcode that you will be entering before driving the vehicle. That way it never gets stolen. But there's more. There's also Dog Mode. So when you leave your pet inside, this feature will keep the climate on and display a message letting people outside of the vehicle know the pet inside is safe. There's also Sentry Mode, which constantly records for suspicious activity around the vehicle, using the exterior cameras for the self-driving features. And if it captures something, it will save that into its built-in dashcam, which comes as standard. For major threats, it will trigger the alarm system, and it will also send a notification to your phone. You can view these clips on the front display, and nowadays you can also view it on the phone. If you pay for the premium connectivity subscription, you will also be able to view the live camera feed through the Tesla app. These are super high-tech cars. But what's new for the new Model Y? It has a display in the back for rear passengers. This display also provides a bunch of different games to play, and a bunch of different videos and movies to watch. And of course it also provides rear passenger controls. It gets a front bumper camera, making it a lot easier to park this vehicle. It's also very helpful for the full self-driving feature. More on that later on in this episode. This camera also features a built-in washer, so by a press of a button on the touchscreen, it will spray water on this camera to clean it. This new Model Y also features ultra-wideband, which will drastically improve the connectivity with the phone key, and it will also allow for Tesla's latest hands-free trunk feature. This vehicle also gets an updated sound system. So the previous Model Y rear-wheel drive had a 7-speaker sound system. The long range had a 14-speaker sound system. The new Model Y rear-wheel drive has a 9-speaker sound system and a 16-speaker sound system for the long range. Now that the gear stock has been removed, it features the auto shift feature. This is a super cool one. So at low speeds, by checking various factors, it will shift the gear by itself. And it actually works really well, especially while doing 3-point turns. Overall, these are very high-tech, but the new Model Y is even more high-tech. Both cars have the same cargo capacity. If so, the new one is slightly more spacious, but the difference is very little. The trunk is massive. It has up to 76 cubic feet of space, and there's an additional 4.1 cubic feet of space in the front. So both vehicles have a cargo capacity of 80.1 cubic feet. The new Model Y rear-wheel drive has an electric motor driving the rear wheels. Unfortunately, we don't know how much horsepower and torque this new vehicle generates. The current Model Y rear-wheel drive makes 295 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque. The new one will likely generate around that much power. Just like the current Model Y rear-wheel drive, the new one has a 60 kilowatt-hour battery pack, which is good for a range of 290 miles. The current Model Y rear-wheel drive has a range of 260 miles, so that's a big step up for range. It can also charge at a rate of up to 170 kilowatts. The new Model Y long range has an electric motor at each axle. The current Model Y long range makes 435 horsepower and 380 pound-feet of torque, so it will likely be the same for the new Model Y as well. And just like the current Model Y long range, it has an 82 kilowatt-hour battery pack, which is good for a range of 342 miles, and it can charge at 250 kilowatts. The current Model Y long range has a range of 310 miles. Now we're not sure if they will make a long-range rear-wheel drive for the new Model Y, like how they're making with the current Model Y, but if they do make that version for the new one, it will have even more range than the long range. So then, how fast can these vehicles go? The current Model Y rear-wheel drive can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.6 seconds. The long range can go in 4.8 seconds. Both have a top speed of 135 miles per hour. The new Model Y rear-wheel drive can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 5.6 seconds. That's a second faster than the previous one. The long range can go in 4.1 seconds. That's really fast, but it has a top speed of 125 miles per hour. Now there's a reason why the top speed is lowered. This new vehicle has updated tires, which are designed for better comfort. They're not meant for driving at high speeds. And most of the times, people drive way less than 100 miles per hour. So that is actually a right decision they made. We don't have any details about the new Model Y performance, but that is going to be a crazy fast vehicle. Both vehicles run on spring suspension. However, the suspension in the current Model Y is quite firm. Even over small bumps, it bounces a little bit too much. But just like how they did with the latest Model 3, they updated the suspension on the new Model Y. The updated suspension, wheels, and tires are all there to make this vehicle go smoother over bumps. They're also for smoother handling and more responsive steering. Another way they have made the driving experience with this vehicle more comfortable is by increasing the sound insulation. All of the improved materials in the interior are also for better sound insulation. On the previous Model Y, only the windshield and the front two windows were double layered. On this new one, all of the windows are double layered. And that is all to reduce the amount of noise entering the cabin, making it feel more serene inside. So those are the major updates for the new Model Y. Everything else is pretty much the same. They're electric cars, so they have that instant torque, which significantly improves the acceleration. Both vehicles have sway bars, which reduce body roll when turning, increasing stability. They also get torque vectoring, so they can send full power to the outer wheel with the most grip. Helps a lot with corner exiting traction. And these vehicles have a low center of gravity, thanks to the battery pack being at the bottom. That also reduces a lot of body roll, increasing stability. And they have that regenerative braking, which makes the driving experience a lot easier. Just lift your foot off the accelerator and they will stop on their own. And while they stop, the battery gets recharged as well. So it makes the driving experience more convenient, and it's also good for the battery. As standard, they come with autopilot, which features adaptive cruise control with auto steer to keep you inside of the lane. But then there's that optional full self-driving package. Getting this package will allow these vehicles to drive completely by themselves, even on city streets. The self-driving tech in these cars is next level. They can change lanes by themselves, park by themselves, follow the navigation, all of that good stuff. All Teslas come with a 30-day free FSD trial right after taking delivery, and they come with a bunch of safety features as standard. So they have automatic emergency braking, lane departure avoidance, blind spot warning, obstacle-aware acceleration, which reduces motor torque when close to obstacles while parking, and now Teslas have rear cross traffic alert. Overall, these are super advanced vehicles, and the updates they have done to the new Model Y will provide a more comfortable driving experience. So, is the new Model Y better than the current Model Y? Indeed it is. We don't have a lot of info about this car yet, but based on the info we have about it, it's a massive improvement over its predecessor. This is a fantastic vehicle. The Model Y has been the best-selling vehicle in the world for quite a while now, And if this new one starts at the same price as the current one in different places of the world, it will boost up sales even more. Deliveries will start in the first half of this year, and by the end of this year, the current Model Y will be officially discontinued and the new Model Y will be available everywhere. But do you guys agree? Let me know in the comments down below. Which vehicle do you guys prefer? Also, let me know in the comments down below which other car comparison video would you like to see. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it the thumbs up, hit the red subscribe button down below, and turn on all notifications. That way you'll never miss out on any new episode posted on this channel. But anyways, that's gonna wrap it up for today's episode.